everyone, it's Catherine here from Inky Fingered Cat. I am back with my self-inflicted monthly challenge to try and make more masculine cards. I really struggle to make cards for boys, grown-ups and little ones, so yeah, I've basically given myself a year-long challenge to at least make 12 masculine projects in the year. And that might do me for a couple of years then. Don't need to make any more. This time I decided to go cutesy because, why not? Boys like cute too, especially if you're making little boy cards. Now, I have quite a few little boys in my life, not ones that I see regularly, but I have quite a few great nephews. So these are the sort of things that are perfect for them. I started with the Making Cards magazine papers, which are also part of my challenge this year to use up all my pattern papers that are in that pack that I was sort of filtering through at the beginning. That's my beginning of the month challenge. But yeah, so I grabbed that pouch and thought, right, come on, let's make some more out of that pouch and let's get going with it. And when I'd spotted these card toppers, I thought these were perfect for my Make It Masculine series is probably a better one. So I make some quite simple cards, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't really know that these need to be a video because they are just basically cutting and sticking and just working out what looks good and how to make them up. I ended up matting and laying quite a lot of these pieces of paper. They are quite thin papers, these magazine papers. They're not as thick as maybe the ones that you would buy in the shop as part of a paper pack or whatever. So they are a bit thin, so I thought actually it would be good to strengthen them and also to mat and layer. And you may have spotted at the very beginning when I was doing the images themselves, they're really thin paper and you can see through that white quite a lot. So it's very important that I mat and layered the images onto the thick white cardstock. You also may have spotted that I also got a little bit of Pritt Stick on the front of the image. Basically, my adhesive eraser is perfect at just erasing that. So you can see here a lot of matting and layering and trimming them down. And at this point, I'm umming and ahhing about the actual final size of the cards. And I decided that they were going to be on 6x6 square cards. So it does require a little bit more trimming down as well. So even the piece that I'd mat and layer there, I did take a little section out of the middle of it just so that it will sit behind the image. You'll not know that it was actually trimmed down from a larger piece. So you'll see I don't really do huge amounts of measurement. I tend to stick things down to the mat layer and then I'll trim it from there rather than doing sizing specifics. And also, obviously, these pieces probably all started off as an A4 booklet in the magazine, and they've already been trimmed down to make something that's going to be reasonable for a card blank, with some extra little pieces that are perfect for this sort of design of just basically lots of layers of patterns. When you mat and layer the papers as well, that really helps to separate the patterns, especially because some of these are quite busy. They weren't designed necessarily to go together either, so some of them, totally random, different packs of cards, packs of papers, but I figured that they went well together with the images, so I was kind of okay with that. But as soon as you add in that matte layer, it really helps to sort of like break up those pattern paper pieces. So here I am with my 6x6 card blanks. I've got some little strips left over. I'm just going to add here those on the inside just to carry forward the pattern. I did know about adding a second banner, but I decided not to on both of them. So I just took the panel that was the biggest of the pieces of pattern paper, and that's the one that I turned into just a little banner on the inside. You'll see there that I'd added in a little bit of cream. It just brought out some of the cream that was in one of the patterns. On that one, on the other one, I did my final layer at the back as black because the back piece is mainly black. And here I've picked out some card candy that I am going to stick on as embellishments. Again, because it's a boy card, you don't really want bling bling, but I always feel like they still should have an embellishment of some description. Card candy are perfect for these, especially those mirrored ones. They're quite fun. So these ones are just plain white ones and with like a pearlescent finish, and the other ones are silver mirror. So at this point, I've now decided how am I going to add my sentiment. I did decide these were going to be birthday cards. First I thought I might die cut some letters, but then I realised I've probably not left enough space on the card front itself. They're quite large images, those printed images, so they do take up most of the card front, especially in terms of where I'd place them, which was almost centre. So it did make it a little bit difficult. And so I ended up going for a very old set of stamps. These are like a little mini set from Paper Artsy, and I just like the font on it. It's like a typewriter font, and just stamped them in black. I did make a mess up on one of them, and so I had to do it a third time, and then covered it with the clear embossing because I was using the VersaFine, which stays wet a little bit longer, so you can add a little bit of embossing powder to it. It just gives it that glossy finish. So trimming these down, again I brought in some of the colours that I've been matting and layering with just to matte and layer these two, because I thought that would work nicely just to give them a bit of a frame. So one of them I add to the yellow cardstock, I had matte a panel in, and the other one I went with the cream. So for each of these, you can see this Tim Holtz trimmer has got some use in these cards, didn't it? I mean, it was in, out all the time. But for these, I just trimmed them down again, and then I added some foam adhesive. I just felt that actually, even though I'd wanted to keep the cards quite flat, they felt still too flat for me. So I went for the foam adhesive. This is the stuff from Kingston Crafts, so it's a few different colours, which I always think is fun if it's peeping in any way. It's nice to have something that either coordinates or looks or works well with the card that you've used. So the yellow one is probably less obvious than the blue that was underneath, and that was it done. So I hope you enjoyed. Do drop me a comment below if boy cards are your thing. Give me some ideas what I can do throughout this series of making masculine cards. I've got another month before I have to make another one, so please do drop me a line. Thumbs up if you enjoyed them. Again, really simple cards, but sometimes that's what you need to do. Just what you need to do. Until next time though, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm not routine in posting cards, videos, etc. Please do hit the notification bell so you know when the new video's up. Until next time though, bye bye.